Namaste, Angels. This is the weekly love reading for the period of today, Sunday, April 18th, which is my great grandmother's birthday. Well, may she rest in peace. Through the 24th, Saturday to come. It's the great grandmother that could read bones. So I guess this is from where I get it from. She could throw bones on the table and get a message, whatever. She could also speak this language called Tut. There was like some sort of broken African dialect, I guess, post slavery. She was born in 1903, so not long after slavery ended. Anywho, welcome. Thanks for joining me. I'll just get started. We're beginning with the dice and sex. Oh, you see, I talked about sex in the general and intimacy. I've been seeing so many things about this. Also 29, which is spiritual partnership, and try again. You may need to literally try again with the sex, because I talked about like a celibacy block and like the inability to get it up, basically. Possibly because you're with the wrong person, and so you're not meant to. That's the universe stopping you from successfully completing what you're trying to do. Spirit says cocktail, email, and stay in bed. I have the Magdalene deck here, the Rider-Waite deck, the Angel and Animal Tarots, and the Fortune Tellers cards here. Many still dealing with negative energy this week. I'll just go ahead and put these up here now. It's jealousy. I'm thinking about calling this reading feeding frenzy. I haven't even done it yet and seeing what's going to come out. But because of what I've been seeing, outside of the reading, it's like they want to feed on you. People are mad because you decided to move yourself away from drama. People are mad because you've distanced yourself from them and their foolishness. People are jealous. People are envious. They know that you're meant for, a particular destiny, great things, a good life, good people like you, people love you. They don't have that. There's all this kind of, I've been calling it Judas energy. I've been calling it that for years. But I started talking about it again, maybe like right before Easter, like a week or two before Easter. And technically the Easter season is still upon us. I explained yesterday in the general reading, the Christians, I guess like really devout Christians or Orthodox Christians, they will be acknowledging Easter, the octaves of Easter, through the Pentecost, the Feast of the Pentecost. And similarly, on the Judeo, or the Jewish or Hebrew calendar, they will continue to count the Omer for 49 days. So it's like the same length of time, and we're dealing with these energies. So last week we talked about people who have maybe wronged you because of it in the ways that I just described, sort of feeling sorry, regretful, some of them. I've also seen this week that those who haven't, because they've wronged certain people, they will live to regret it. They will experience something, I don't know exactly what, but they will experience something where it'll be a direct correlation to this thing, and this wrong that they've done, and they will, like I said, live to rue the day that they did whatever they did. So yeah, I'm thinking about calling it feeding frenzy, although really positive cards with which we're starting. And I think because there is a newness that wants to happen, I'm also seeing a lot for maybe not even, I was going to say the feminine, but maybe not even the feminine as much as women, females. She's walking away. I guess it could be the feminine archetype. Anybody who identifies as a feminine, or as a woman, So even if it is more about like physicality and your biological identity, because women are from Venus, men are from Mars, women are from Venus, they say, and I'm just feeling like women setting boundaries. And I actually had a call with I didn't call direct message with one of my clients slash friends, viewers, supporters here today about her having successfully like set a boundary with her divine masculine, and like, I'm not going to allow you to hurt me in this way or to this extent, to do that or to behave this way with me. But she didn't completely shut the door. You have a way back in behaving the way that you're meant to behave. If you do this, I'm not going to let you. And in some cases that's happened, and we're realizing it as women, or like I said, feminine, the divine feminine, because we allowed it to happen before. We did not have these boundaries, and because of love and our natural nature, right, our way of nurturing, we're giving and giving and giving and loving and loving and loving, like, despite whatever was happening, and not putting our foot down, and not, or when we did react in that way and put our foot down, it was to the other extreme, and we're closing the door at the same time too. We're meant to find that sort of balance and say, I'm not going to take this from you. You're not going to treat me disrespectfully, but you're welcome to come back when you're ready to treat me with some respect. Like, the door is not completely closed. So a lot of that is coming up, and it could be particularly feminine and or females, like I said, women walking away from different relationships this week. And a lot of the reason that we give and give and give, and it goes unappreciated rather, is because, again, the masculine, he is from Mars. He is about action and aggression, and he does want to naturally, in an innate way, be the pursuer. With these twin flame dynamics, you both you both pursue. It's a whole runner chaser thing, so that can throw them off too. And it's like, she's pursuing me, and I don't like that. Or, she's treating me too well, and I don't like that, which is something that we got to explore too, because what is that about? Being treated well bothers you, turns you off. You want to look for somebody else that's going to mistreat you? And the answer is yes, because we're not used to, some of us, and some of them, specifically the masculine males, not used to being treated with genuine love, with genuine care, with genuine nurturing, sometimes at all. And in the cases where they were, at times, sometimes only from maybe their mother. And a lot of them don't look for you to be the one to pursue them or to take care of them or nurture them until they've been hurt, because then they want somebody to be the one that's coming after them, so as to not get hurt again, right? If you're chasing me and I'm not even like looking for you, I know it's a more of a secure feeling. It's like a guarantee this person wants me, so I'm not going to be hurt. Versus me pursuing them, what if they tell me they don't want me, and then I'm the one that gets hurt? So there's been a lot of that. But again, like the women, I think the feminine is who is putting her foot down, and the masculine, the male, will have no choice but to react, respond one way or another in kind. Yeah, so it would definitely be women and or feminine, because we could have men who identify as a feminine archetype as well. And that's who I see being the one to, at this time, put their foot down. All right, so with that, let's see if the cards agree with me. I can tell they already agree with me in terms of the newness that's coming with this deck here, which again is the Magdalene deck. We're starting with miracles, and we have, like, I guess this is meant to be like a tree of life, or at least that's the vibe I'm getting from it, maybe particularly because the Ankh is here at the root of the tree, and miracles. So that, I think that's part of the newness, the new. And in the general reading, we saw an indication of newness too. The overall, the card that was going to most directly represent us was the Fool in reverse, and that's about new beginnings, particularly spiritual ones. So in terms of relationship, again, twin flame relationships, maybe taking off again, entering a new phase. Maybe a cycle completing, and then one is beginning, because that's how death and birth work. So those are the things I'm seeing there. We have family, so it's another tree. I would say these are indicative of growth too, and one maybe even growing your family. There could be, or growing a family, there could be even children that are born maybe into some of the relationships that turn out to be the, wrong relationships. only meant maybe to bring forth those children. Like that was the destiny, but not meant to be together forever. And then we have sacred sexuality, which of course is meant only to be had between, divine partners as well. With the Rider-Waite deck, we are starting with the Ace of Pentacles. So again, that's indicative of a new start and an abundant one, no less. And how or why are we getting that new start? Because we work for it. The Eight of Pentacles is about reaping what you've sown. So your efforts being rewarded, your work being rewarded, your labors, you're getting back what you put in. And that in this case, again, is a new start, an abundant one. The World, also upright, can be about something coming to an end. It's about cycles, right? Something coming full circle, something coming to an end, something new beginning. So it's sort of like a death and rebirth. This is also a card that, for those of you who are single, if you do any traveling, and it doesn't have to be long distance travel, it can be local travel. Maybe you're like going away from your usual haunt and you're somewhere else. You can very well meet somebody for a relationship. I mean, like the real deal relationship while you're doing that traveling. With these cards, the Angel and Animal Tarots, we're starting with the Two of Cups. You're falling in love or experiencing a deepening of emotion in your current relationship. Marriages or romantic partnerships in distress can still be saved. Don't give up. And another Ace of Pentacles is right beneath that. The inflow of abundance, a promising business venture, and important documents or contracts. Nice. And lastly, speaking of death and rebirth, we're starting with birth. Oh, wow. And unity is underneath it. So it could be birth of, a union, a connection, a commitment, maybe a new start in a committed relationship. Possibly one that even warrants actual literal flowers. Otherwise, flowers can be a metaphor. Like I talk about giving people their flowers while they're alive. So their love, your generosity, your love, giving it to them while they're here to receive it, not after they're gone. And there's no opportunity for you to connect with them where you're saying, oh, I should have, we should have, and all of that. Not realizing what you have until it's gone, I think will be another focus this week. So I think I'm not going to shuffle these or these, or maybe even these for now, but we will shuffle these. Maybe we'll do two decks. We'll do this one first by mixing up the cards we've already looked at. And then I open right to that Eight of Pentacles again. And right to the World. Six of Cups. The Moon. Judgment. I think that's a good place to start, or to stop. These should be good and mixed up. Oh, I also wanted to say something about, the negative energy. I don't think that everybody realizes to the extent that this is going on, or the fact that maybe there are levels to this. So we have people among us who are even having difficulty when you sleep. You know about sleep paralysis and the association with dark energy to that. Maybe waking up feeling like you could not breathe, like something was trying to stifle you from breathing, and so you wake up really trying to catch your breath and get some air, and you got to stand up, or feeling like you're like dying in your sleep and you have to get up for that. Like all of these things are happening. People who maybe don't live together but know each other, so like groups of friends coming down with the same symptoms of an illness, like severe headache. And I'm not talking about the virus or whatever. I'm talking about, not having any kind of virus or bacteria or anything, but just experiencing like just falling ill, like literally falling ill. Like all of that kind of stuff is happening to people right now. If that's happened to you and you haven't known what to do with it or where to go with it or who to talk to, you can definitely, go in the comments and I'm sure find some support and solace there. You can contact me or whatever. So our overall energy here this week will be the Five of Swords in reverse. And the Five of Swords is about conflict, right? And attack. That's what it's about. So even though we started out with those really positive cards, so far it looks like maybe things are turning out the way I saw them in advance of the reading. Something just fell from a place where nothing was bothering it. That's like yesterday during the general reading, my light just turned itself off. So those kinds of things are happening right now too. I decided I will shuffle these. So again, we looked at miracles, we looked at family, and we looked at sacred sexuality. And then the next card was in reverse. It is the real you, which is what I named the general reading. Because this week, based on the astrological transits, is very largely going to be about integrity and you maintaining yours or not. So that can definitely be associated with the feminine deciding to set a boundary and or to walk away. Like if you can't meet this, if you can't treat me in a particular way that with some decency, or the same with reciprocity, the same love I give you, then I'm out. That's because of her integrity. So that would be how it applies to love and relationship, perhaps. And that's not to suggest that only the feminine has integrity and or will. This is from another deck. Well, should I leave them in here? Maybe they're meant to be in here with us. It's not to suggest that only the feminine has integrity or will be challenged and need to make a choice whether or not to, defend theirs and keep it intact, or to maybe allow themselves to be tempted by like the devil, something negative. The masculine can be as well. Wow. You saw me shuffle, you saw me cut into several piles, and miracles is again our overall energy. So perhaps I didn't need to go through that exercise, but I'm not disappointed that we did. So now I'm going to start with these, but I'll use these again in a second as well. Our shared overall energy again is the Five of Swords, and the card that for love will be for the fire signs this week. So Aries, Leo, Sagittarius it's the Eight of Pentacles again. I don't know what I'm going to put this, but I'm going to keep pulling from these. All right, so I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to keep this here. Our overall energy, the Five of Swords in reverse. So in addition to being about conflict, it is also, this also ties into conflict. It's about power struggles. So it can be about things like jealousy, especially if somebody considers themselves your superior, an authority, better than you in any kind of way, and things are going well for you and not for them, or or maybe they are going well for them too. They're still mad at you. Those people. That's the kind of thing that's happening, and it could be getting in the way of your love life, or somebody could be purposely sending some sort of negative energy toward you, because of, for those reasons. Specific to love, it's a little different. It can be about like you at war with yourself. You're having the power struggle with yourself and maybe sacrificing your own happiness just for the sake of like being right or doing the right thing according to, I don't know, what some sort of standard, maybe society, maybe, your traditions with which you were raised, your family. Let's say, for example, I talked about getting divorced yesterday, so I'll stay with that. During the general, I talked about that. A lot of people believe that divorce is wrong. It's not the right thing to do. So what would be the right thing to do? Staying in a relationship where you're miserable, that's sacrificing your happiness for the sake of doing what's right. So sometimes we just have to face our ego and our fears and accept reality and the truth and preserve our integrity, if it means anything to us. So that message does seem to be coming back up this week. Today in the love reading about the integrity, just as it did yesterday in the when I recorded the general reading. The Eight of Pentacles, I already talked about, while I was shuffling in terms of what it means in a general sense, but specific to love, it can be about your maybe work schedule or perhaps that of your partner or both, sort of getting in the way of your ability to have a love life. And if you're single, it would be the same thing. Like your work is part of the reason why you're single. And it could be that you chose to, let me dive into my work. You know that expression when you're single, I have nothing else to do. Let me stack some chips. Earn some money and put it aside and take care of myself. And those are all really admirable things and very earth sign like things to do. They are, they're people who usually are concerned with security and stability, which are smart things to be concerned with, and they make sure that they have it. They work hard, they're dedicated to work and all that kind of stuff. And so we could have decided, maybe if we're single, let me be this way while I'm single, and now it's turned into a scenario where you don't know how to find the balance or strike a balance between all this work you're doing and maybe going out and trying to meet people for a relationship. Or if you're already in a relationship, finding the time to nurture it and nurture each other, and for that reciprocity that we talked about before, and also do whatever work it is you have to do. So I will move on to earth signs: Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. And your card, also in reverse, I want to make sure I didn't turn the deck around upright, is the Six of Wands. Six of Wands in reverse. So the Six of Wands is a card of victory and reward and award, and again, giving people their flowers while they're alive, perhaps. They've been expressing yourself, letting a person know, how you feel about them, who they or what they represent in your life. So that would be like giving them their award, their just due, their flowers, perhaps. It can also, specific to love, if you're in a relationship already, it can be about some sort of fear that's associated with that relationship, some sort of fear or like challenging energy, which makes sense based on what we've been talking about and our overall energy, the Five of Swords in reverse, that's keeping you from, being your best part of the partnership. And similarly, if you're single, it can mean that maybe you have some kind of fear about love and or relationship as well, whether that is a fear of being single forever, or a fear of being hurt. I talked about that. Maybe experienced some sort of hurt before. I don't want to experience it again, so I'm afraid of love, I'm afraid of relationship, that sort of thing. Again, on the plus side, in the general sense, this is a very positive card, a card of victory. So I hope that many of you will be able to overcome that this week, if that's through what you're going on and with what you're dealing. Could be about the person too, exactly who you're interested in being with. Remember, sacrificing your own happiness. So if it's could be more specific for some people, and the fear is, I talked about maybe like 2 weeks ago about, it was the week I was talking about the person feeling regretful. So maybe that was last week. That some of us bring up energy in other people and traits in other people that they otherwise try to stifle. So, and we do it very innocently. And I said that some cases that was why maybe they abandoned you. So this could be a similar case, like somebody wanting to maybe abandon you, and that's why or to stay away from you and not become involved with you, because you bring up like this jealousy trait with them. You bring up this feeling of maybe not, feeling less than, feeling like small because you're so, your personality is so huge. And that's what they love about you. But at the same time, they find it difficult to actually be with you. I think you guys get the idea. So, but I was saying at the end of the day, it's a positive card. It's a card of victory in its most general meaning. And so hopefully you will find victory over that kind of feeling if you're experiencing it. For us, air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, our card is Major Arcana card 6, the Lovers, which in fact does represent the sign of Gemini in the tarot. So this is very nice. And it's nice for a change for us too. I think last week our card was, I don't know, like the devil in reverse or something. So the six of the Major Arcana card 6 and the Lovers, particularly when it's upright, is super super positive omen as it relates to love. It is about reciprocal love. It is about like the real deal in a relationship. But what does it mean in terms of the Five of Swords in reverse? In terms of sacrificing our happiness, it can be about even sacrificing, a genuine soulmate or twin flame, a divine union type of relationship. Oh, for nothing, basically, when you look at it in terms of a Major Arcana card versus the Five of Swords. This is like for nothing, sacrificing real love. For the water signs, last but not least, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, your card is, and it's your energy as well. The Queen of Cups in reverse. The Queen of Cups most directly represents the sign of Scorpio, but of course it is representative of all of the water signs, all, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, as well as those who are not even water signs, but just really represent the traits and attributes of water. And for some of you water signs, it can be about your involvement with specifically a Scorpio. So maybe a Cancer and a Scorpio, a Pisces and a Scorpio and a Scorpio. And this, for me, considering the two together, is suggesting a need for calm, patience, starting not to try to force anybody into anything they don't want to do, into a relationship, even into moving forward. But I think as we, as I said at the beginning, really like setting the boundaries of, because the Queen of Cups is somebody who is like an OD nurturer, right? She's like it's really that loving maternal mother, just genuine, sweet love and caring kind of energy, but combined with the Five of Swords in reverse, and with her being upside down, it's sort of like she's in disarray. Now, specific to love, the Queen of Cups on her own is, and even in reverse, is still a really good omen. But I think it can be like winning at any cost, at all costs. So when we talk about sacrificing happiness, like whatever I have to do to win or to be right, in this scenario is what I'm going to do, even if I have to hurt other people, or to be hurt myself, which is not very healthy either. So where are those other cards that we shuffled? Sorry, I put them back in the box for some reason after I shuffled them. Again, our overall energy was miracles. So I'm going to pull from the back, beginning with the fire signs, so Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, joining the Eight of Pentacles. Very nice. You have Judgment, which I've said many times. So if you're familiar with the way that I read the card Judgment, that it's about abundance that's earned. And that's exactly what the Eight of Pentacles is. Again, reaping what you've sown, your work paying off. So you can have that to look forward to. For you fire signs, joining the Six of Wands in reverse, this is also quite apropos too. You have acceptance. So I talked about putting ego aside and accepting, but also I'm hearing it like, and reading it like, like accepting an award, accepting your reward, and getting what you deserve. In a really patient and loving way. She's here nude and laying down. So she's in full surrender and full vulnerability and acceptance. That's perfect for you guys. Joining our lovers card for us air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Our next card is family. And the energy of Gemini is very much about siblings. I wonder if some sort of conflict may come up, because when you think of a Judas, you think of sometimes just like a real, enemy, maybe a stranger, somebody that doesn't at all love you. But sometimes we have these situations, even with family and even with siblings, that come up, just major conflict. We don't get along. There's a problem. And so there could be something related to family and or siblings that's getting in the way. In a more positive sense, there could be a defense of one's, spiritual family, soul family, and, spiritual partner in terms of that love, that soulmate love there. And, or you guys are could be creating your own family this week, maybe learning that you're pregnant or actually giving birth or something. And that is what is really pissing people off. Right? That's causing conflict around you, even though it's supposed to be a happy occasion. And last but not least, the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, joining the Queen of Cups in reverse. This mother energy is more mother energy, and you have Mother Mary. So she always shows up to remind us to nurture ourselves while we're busy nurturing and taking care of everybody else. So that's your message in love this week. Water signs, you take care of yourself too, and make sure that you're getting what you deserve, and in a healthy way and for the right reasons, in balance, not just because you did whatever you had to do to win, even if that was something hurtful to yourself or somebody else. I think primarily it is going to be about you. Very nice. I love how all the cards just really matched. Now I'm going to do the spread from the masculine perspective with the other cards that I showed you at the beginning of the reading. So again, our overall energy was flowers, be generous, success and emotional fulfillment are yours. Behind it, also upright, is unity, the time of divine understanding, renewal, peace, and hope. You radiate and attract great love. And also upright behind it is birth. Universal energy brings you opportunity and possibility. The next card is in reverse. It is dragonfly. So divine feminine, the masculine as it relates to the feminine, and this card specifically to himself and to the union or connection as a whole. I smell like baked goods. And I don't know what that may mean for somebody, but I don't have any baked goods in my house. And I'm not cooking right now. Overall, maybe it's from my granny. It could be from her. She could be here. I'll try to see if I can figure that out after I finish. What the masculine would have what kind of energy the masculine would have the feminine give to the union or connection this week. Probably one that says, don't leave me. But, even if they're not physically together, like when you can feel that energetic connection being like really being cut and severed, wow, that hurts. What energy he himself is giving to it, and what the universe would have each of us to give toward it, and even wants to help us with. And then we'll do the same from these, which I'm now realizing I forgot to shuffle. Sorry about that. If they're in reverse, I'm turning them over so nothing's going to be in reverse here. And I'm only using these to, like, just in case there is any like court cards. So we want to give us an indication of with whom we might be dealing, or to whom something might apply. I said, let me use some actual tarot cards with this. But that's the only reason. Okay, Divine Feminine. What's our energy this week? It is Coffin. So here's the Death. Natural endings abound. Didn't I say the feminine? Walking away, leaving relationships, leaving people alone. And maybe that doesn't just apply to your romantic relationship, like if you have one, or your singlehood, if that's the case for you. Maybe you're not only necessarily leaving that, you could be leaving other people alone that are affecting your life and or love life. Natural endings abound. Take care with your health. So it's also that it's very Queen of Cups, from the water sign last spread. Also, partnering with that is one of the court cards that I was suggesting might pop up, the Queen of Swords. Experience, self-sufficient, brilliant, and funny. All of your experiences have prepared you for this moment of truth. So even though something's coming to an end, like you're ready, you can deal with this. You're prepared. You've been through enough that it has readied you for this moment. It's time to declutter your home, to clear away situations that aren't working for you anymore. Friends, family, fake people, whoever it is, fake boyfriends, fake girlfriends, get rid of them too. And to disengage from people who create more drama than happiness. Like just I was saying, like you walk away from the drama, you distance yourself, you sever yourself, they're mad. You're around, they're mad. You can't make these people happy. They're mad that you even exist because of the light you radiate. Just leave them alone. In a general sense, I'm going to add the Queen of Swords is somebody who is super intelligent and psychic and, just really knows what she's doing, what she's talking about, and the next move. She is called by, some tarot practitioners the Feng Shui Queen because she knows how to put things in order and how to, clean and like rearrange the energy around her. And she also, when she comes up in the tarot, the general meaning of the Queen of Swords upright is that your instincts are serving you well right now. So something's coming to an end. You can sense that something's coming in, or you can see it in a very 3D and tangible way. You allow it to come to an end, but you'll be receiving messages, guidance, whether spiritual or again 3D or both, that will show you what to do. And you should follow those things because, again, your instincts, your intuition, your gut feelings, whatever, they are serving you well right now. And this is for the Divine Feminine. So just as I said before I laid any cards, before I shuffled and all that stuff, okay? Moving on to the masculine as it relates to the feminine and maybe specifically to this energy here. And we have another world. So something coming full circle and or to an end. Perhaps so that you can, something new and better for you can open up. Congratulations on successfully accomplishing what you set out to do. You've made it through the challenging and the challenges rather, and incorporated the lessons that life offered you. It sounds very Queen of Swords, even though this card feels like fire to me, the world always. So you've incorporated the lessons that life offered you with grace and courage. Joining that for the masculine, I said it feels like fire, and you have the sun here. Open your heart to the enormous growth ahead. And we talked about the growth ahead when we saw the two trees at the beginning on the cards, on the miracle card and the family card that was immediately behind it. The masculine as it relates to himself, we have mountain. Know that you're protected as you face challenges, but remain cautious. So it's saying you can go up, you can climb, and you're going to be okay. Although it may, there may be a bumpy hike or whatever, or drive. And you're surrounded by, your ancestors, angels, whatever it is, you believe is around you, that your guardian angels. So to speak. But that doesn't mean that you can just walk around like a dunce and you don't have to, put forth any action or forethought into or looking before you leap, or making your decisions wisely. You still have to also be cautious, even though you're protected. And when paired with that is Major Arcana card 6, the Lovers. Again, true and long-lasting love finds its way into your life. Follow your heart with caring actions and choices. So it's saying even though it's difficult to get to this love, even though you may have to make difficult choices, you may have to admit that everything isn't right. Everything isn't perfect. You aren't perfect. You know, the person you are interested in isn't perfect. They maybe are not what society or your family or whomever was expecting of you. So though that's challenging when all those things come up. But this is true and long lasting love. So what are you going to do about it? Masculine. Follow your heart with caring actions and choices is the advice. Again, Major Arcana card 6, the Lovers, most directly represents the sign of Gemini. So similar to the Court card, the Queen of Swords, also potentially a Gemini, that may be to whom in your life this applies. You know, those of you who are dealing with an air sign, maybe specifically a Gemini. You say, it's her. I knew it. I hadn't admitted it to myself, but I knew I felt this way about her or him or whatever, right? The masculine, as it relates to the union or connection, even if it's just energetic and you're not together physically in any way, as a whole. Wow. How conflicting are these energies? The devil, ego, right? Which is the devil, and angel. Oh man, I really feel like this is an honest representation of how his higher self is envisioning like the union or connection as a whole, because the devil is about like being chained, being stuck. So like again, being afraid, being stuck in fear, being stuck in ego, or whatever reasons to not pursue light and love. And then but you have the light and love there surrounding you, and it's like, how can I not try to walk toward it? How can you avoid this? Your angels are guiding and protecting you on your spiritual journey. So it's also repeating the message that you had here with that was also specific to the masculine about the challenges ahead of him. Like you're protected. Then we have the devil. You may feel that you're trapped in your situation, but that's not true. Be careful not to overly focus on material wealth. Sometimes that's literally what the deal is. So for some of you, it could be like, oh, the person you're interested in doesn't have enough money or has more money than you. Sometimes that can be a reason that, you know, we avoid people, which is crazy if you actually love each other. But it's true. Or maybe other outside people will say like, you're not enough for him, or you're not enough for her. You're not worthy of that person, you know, and you get it into your head and believe that it's true. So those are ways that literally things like money and wealth can keep us from, you know, taking a chance. But this says, be careful not to overly focus on those things, you know, material wealth, and break free of negative thinking, you know, which I just gave some examples of. Instead, maybe thinking positively, listening for guidance, and talking back also to your angels or, again, ancestors, whomever, whatever you feel is guiding you. Overall is Lovers. This happened yesterday in the general too. I used like more than one deck of cards. It wasn't this deck, but every deck that I had, whatever their version of Lovers was on the top. There are two paths ahead. Be true to yourself. So rather than the other people or whatever, again, society, the world, rather than any of those things, be true to yourself. Be true to you. Which path do you choose, honestly? And you can have it if you're honest about that and you tell the universe what you want, because it's answering prayers. Major Arcana card, the Star, talks about answering prayers, wish fulfillment, dreams coming true, goals being reached and accomplished. You're about to take a big leap forward with your life. Worry will be replaced with optimism, fear with hope, and joy is coming home to roost. Major Arcana card 17, the Star, most directly represents the sign of Aquarius. What energy the masculine would have the feminine give to the union connection this week if it were up to him? Eagle. So more air. You will soar toward your destiny with greater clarity and strength. He wants you to like head right toward it, maybe even pursue him. But it's joined with the Three of Swords. So he might want you to also not like negate or like disregard the pain that was caused, but like maybe like despite it, still know that you guys can reach these heights. Sadness is part of life, but you don't have to endure it alone. Maybe you can endure it together too. That's another possibility. You may need a little time to heal, but once you work your way through the emotions, you'll be stronger than ever before. And just because this is the energy the masculine wants you to give doesn't mean you have to give it. Again, you can set boundaries, you can walk away. You can say, I forgive you, but that doesn't mean we're ever going to be together again or we're ever going to be together, period. So those are other potential reasons for the Three of Swords. What energy the masculine is giving? It is Chariot. Charge ahead with confidence. Stay strong and focused. Nice. Some might say about time. And it's paired with the Three of Pentacles, which is another card similar to Judgment that for me is about abundance that is earned. In terms of love and relationship, it can be about a need for patience for a relationship to really develop to how you would hope it would be. But it's about taking your time and allowing that to happen. And it tells you at least up front that the way you feel about the person, they feel about you too. Like that. This is a card of that represents like mutual respect and adoration. You know, I see you in a really positive light, and you know, you see me like that too. But threes can often be about the need for patience because they're not fours, right? Four is where you have the actual solid foundation. Three is where you begin to see those tangible things, so you at least get a little bit of the information where you're shown, yes, they feel about you very, very positively. And what the universe even wants to help us with, would like us to do. Ooh, lion. Harness the loyal and protective aura of the lion and charge ahead magnificently. And it's joined by more fire, the Ace of Fire, an exciting new opportunity, career advancement. Change your life now. Is there anything going on with the energy of Leo that I'm not thinking of? I do remember saying in the general reading that I think it was on the 20th, the first quarter moon occurs in Leo. So maybe that's a date that we have to look forward to. The 20 is an 11, like an ace. That may be a message, which reminds me now as I glance down toward the 21, one of my clients has a court hearing on the 21st. And I said, oh, the 21st, I feel good about that date. It's the 111th day of the year. Oh, God, I'm so strange. It's the 111th day of the year. There will be 254 days left. So, of course, 111, 111, it's the threes. It's the threes, the world, the Three of Swords, the Three of Pentacles. And there will be 254 days left, which equals 11 also. So maybe the 20th or the 21st, something could really be happening for somebody. There's also a full moon coming up, but it's in Scorpio, and I don't see any water here. Let's do some advice and see if we get any water. I'm just looking for the next deck now. Okay, from the fortune reading cards to the masculine for his additional advice, we have goals. This is like another Ace of Pentacles, our third Ace of Pentacles during this reading. Progress is positive and personal goals will be achieved. Didn't I just say goal achievement, accomplishment, wish fulfillment, dreams coming true. But it's up to you, right? We have free will, and there are two paths ahead. So depending upon which one you choose, I would imagine. This too is also about free will. The universe wants to help us with this if we would like to go after it and allow the universe to work on it. But we don't have to, right? We can reject it. For the feminine, you can't make this up. Wish fulfillment. Dreams, accomplishments, coming true. Wish fulfillment. Your heart's desire is ready to come true, feminine. From the animal tarot to the masculine. The Knight of Swords now. He is decisive, focused, driven, and impulsive. Get ready for progress to speed up. This situation requires you to choose logic and intellect over emotion and to make your decisions quickly. So this is one of those sweep you off your feet cards, particularly if you're single, in love, and if you are coupled, it can be about a deepening of, love and commitment and respect. In a general sense, this card is also about waiting for some, like a decision, an answer. And upright like this, it usually in your favor. It's like what you want to hear, what you've been looking to hear is happening or will happen. May involve a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, or someone likened to those traits or attributes. So this masculine could even be like, if I do pursue, am I going to, is she going to be responsive? And I would say particularly if she's an air sign, yeah, but she doesn't have to be an air sign. Also, feminine, our card is, boom, the wheel. This is the Wheel of Fortune. Expect a sudden positive change in your life. You can now move forward and make great progress. From the Animal Tarot to the masculine, we have the Tower. This is funny because it showed up in the general reading too, and I said the Tower is not always horrible. It was a tower that was combined with money. So it could be something in the masculine's life, work, and finance too, that all of a sudden he finds himself able maybe to provide if that's something he's been worried about, or something like that. It can also be about having a revelation, which is just as valuable, or if not more sometimes than actual money or material things. A significant life event, a powerful revelation that leads to change. It's time to spread your wings. Also, of course, if anybody, becomes pregnant or learns they're pregnant or has a baby, that can be the significant life event too. And feminine, for us, it is another wheel. Now you see why I like to use not only tarot decks, but more than one. A time of positive change. So if you didn't believe it the first time, here's another message. A situation suddenly moves forward. What did the masculine say he wanted to do in the spread? Finally move. Where was it? Charge ahead. Charge ahead with confidence. Stay strong and focused. So it could be that. All of a sudden, situation moves forward. Masculine moves forward. Time of positive change. The situation suddenly moves forward, and fortune is on your side. The wheel most directly represents the fire sign Sagittarius. Fire sign Sagittarius and planet Jupiter, which is Sagittarius's ruler, as well as the fixed signs, though, however. So Aquarius, Scorpio, which was in the last spread, but not here right now. Taurus and Leo. Leo is that other one. So on that note, ending on the roar, ending on the Leo energy. I hope you guys have enjoyed this reading, and I'll be back soon. I think I have to come back collectively with another moon reading during this week. Like I said, the full moon in Scorpio, I think, is like Wednesday or something like that. So I will be back soon. I thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, all of the wonderful things that you do for me. Namaste.